every once in a while, Chris Christie reminds me a little bit of Ron Paul in that he's a bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes he comes out on the right side. And when it comes to the war on drugs, it's a perfect example of him coming out on the right side. So he was giving a speech and he basically talked about how the war on drugs has been an utter failure. Here, let me read you his quotes. He says, "The war on drugs, while well-intentioned, has been a failure. We're warehousing addicted people every day in state prisons in New Jersey, giving them no treatment." He continues to say, "If you're pro-life, as I am, you can't be pro-life just in the womb. Every life is precious and every one of God's creatures can be redeemed, but they won't if we ignore them."
Now, those are really strong words, and it's a Republican politician and a fairly popular one, just flat out calling the war on drugs a failure. So that's a big moment, and you got to give him credit for that. Now, I'm also going to, be cynical here because that's what we do here. We break down politics, tell you, why people do the things that they do. Christie gets most of his money from hedge fund managers in New York. Obviously, New Jersey is a neighboring state, and they love him. They don't make any money off the war on drugs. If he was getting money from companies that did make money off the war on drugs, for example, private security companies, intelligence companies, etc., he might be singing a different tune. But luckily, he's not. And it's good to have a Republican on the right side here, so I'll take it and run.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that he's being consistent in his ideology, because one of our biggest criticisms of those who are pro-life is they are only pro-life when it comes to the womb, right? When it comes to a zygote, Republicans are like, oh my God, that zygote should have constitutional rights. And as soon as that baby is born, they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean government assistance? F off.
Yeah. Oh, help you because you're a single mom? Oh, well, you shouldn't have been a single mom. That's your fault.
Right.
They now have a new talking point. Two different Republicans we've seen over the last 2 days. They're calling voting a privilege. No, but wait, that's a right. It's the most fundamental right that Americans have in a democracy is the vote. Now, all of a sudden, voting is a privilege. Zygotes have all the rights, but once you're out here, they might even take your voting rights away.
It's unbelievable. And by the way, just one final thing on Christie that I think is important to mention. He pushed for legislation in the state of New Jersey that would basically put first-time nonviolent drug offenders in a treatment program. That would be their punishment for the very first time. So they would have to go through a one-year treatment program instead of being immediately sent to prison, which I think is an excellent way to handle this situation. And it also saves the state a significant amount of money. It's about half the cost of sending someone to prison.
Yeah. Now, in some ways, I feel like calling Christie a mixed bag is being too kind to him because there's a lot of bad crap in that bag, right?
Same thing with Ron Paul.
Right.
I know I'm going to get criticism for that, but it's the truth. Sorry.
Right. Sorry. Okay. And Christie, the way he sucks up to the bankers disgusts me. But nonetheless, as we said here, obviously, good point here. So fine, we'll give him the moniker. You've earned it, Chris Christie. Mixed bag. That's as good as we can do for a Republican.